Well, I don't think the oil zone's going to care if we have a power plant, so let's toss that back here. Make sure the power lines are sufficiently raised. And, oh, there is already water to it. Excellent. Okay. And I think just because we are going to need it very soon, another landfill is in order. Look how snugly it fits in here. Look at it. Oh, garbage trucks. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, while we're waiting for our population to grow, I hope you'll indulge me in watching just one garbage truck. That's not too much to ask, right? Just one garbage truck. And hopefully we'll be watching all those power things go away. Now that the power is connected, right. No, we screwed up. Well, I screwed up. I can't blame you guys for this. I mean, I still can. I'd like to. But then I'll get, like, angry comments. You guys are such critics. Okay, here we go. Connect. What's your problem? It's not connecting. Well, we're just going to run parallel lines out to the same area. Stupid? Maybe. Necessary? Maybe not. But, damn it, this is my immature way of dealing with the game being a bitch. Oh, now I screwed that up too. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, there's our lines. And that was our garbage truck. We are going to watch it. I promise you. We are not going to let that bad boy out of our sight. Yes. There are certain simple pleasures in life, you know? And watching the garbage truck is one of them. Alright, now that we have some moment to chill out, relax, I wanted to talk about something that a lot of people have been bringing up in the comments of the other episodes, and I think it's worth mentioning in the video itself rather than responding individually to each of these comments. And that is the question of what is the better game, this or SimCity 4? First thing I'd like to say to that is it's really difficult to compare a game that came out in 2003 to a game that came out in 2015. I mean, in the tech world, even technology that's like 3 years old is often considered outdated or old. And we're talking about a 12-year gap between these two games. That is a gulf. SimCity 4 might as well be this game's great-grandfather, you know? So a real direct comparison is very hard to do. However, you know, certain things can be said. Like, certain things we will have to give SimCity 4 a pass on. For example, curved roads. I think it would have been very hard to implement curved roads given the limitations of the time. So I think we can give the game a pass for that. One thing I don't think we can give SimCity 4 a pass on, though, is traffic. I think that the traffic system with the base game and even with the Rush Hour expansion was terrible, and I can't even blame it on the game being old because the NOM patch for it, you know, fan-made, network add-on mod, that's what that stands for, that fixed most of it. And if that could run without any conflicts or without really slowing the game down or messing it up in some other way, that means there's no reason that the programmers of the game couldn't have done a better job with the game as it was first made. So that's a strike against SimCity 4. That being said, the traffic in this game is only marginally better. But in some ways, no, it's not, because we have every individual car simulated rather than them just being painted on as they were in SimCity 4. And that's something I guess to a certain extent I can excuse from SimCity 4 just because it is an older game. But it is something that puts this game one beyond. I mean, that unmentionable game from 2 years ago tried that and failed horrifically. Another slightly mentionable game, Cities XL, it attempted it, or it didn't attempt it. It averted it altogether, and that was kind of a cop-out on their part. Well, I don't know. Considering the size of their maps, maybe not. But the fact is, that game didn't have it. This game does. So, point for this game. And what else can be said? One thing that I will give SimCity 4 over this game is the region feature. The region feature of SimCity 4 is still possibly my favorite thing in city builders, and I'm very grateful that game had it. This game probably could have had it. I mean, I understand what they're doing with buying the squares, but I don't think a region feature would have been that hard to implement, you know? And you wouldn't necessarily have to have every car from every city in the region being simulated at once, but just sort of you determine how many cars from each region are coming. We still have some unemployment problems here. So, but anyway, yeah, the region feature in SimCity 4, great. So, a side-by-side comparison is really hard to do, but I'm trying my best. That's what I'm saying. And the other thing too is SimCity 4 has stood the test of time. It's a game from 2003 that people were still playing 10 years later, and that's a testament to how good of a game it was. Now, this game, will people be playing this game in 2025? I don't know. It really depends on what else comes out between now and then, what kind of support there is for this game between now and then. There's a lot of factors that make that a very difficult question to answer. But one thing seems to be for certain, this game seems to have finally taken the title away from SimCity 4 of being the standard bearer for city building games. I mean, SimCity 4 held that title for 12 years, which is much longer than any game should in any genre. I mean, imagine if, let's say Mario 3 came out in 1989, right? Let's say a better platforming game did not come out until 2001. That would be the equivalent of what's going on here, you know? Imagine if Doom came out. What year did Doom come out? 1991? 92? Imagine if Doom remained the best first-person shooter game until 2003 or 2004. I mean, that would be honestly a little embarrassing for the gaming industry. But that's what happened in SimCity's case, in the city building genre. In fact, wrap your mind around this. Almost as much time has passed between the release of SimCity 4 and the present day as passed originally between the release of the very first SimCity and SimCity 4. That's 12 years versus 14 years. So yeah, very, very close. Speaking of very close, how are we doing on that that population? Oh, we're almost there. Nice. We need a few more zones, though. But yeah, I mean, we had a few games come out. We had City Skylines, which, do I need to say anything? That game was a joke. It wasn't a real city building game. It's I mean, hell. I never even played it, so I was never even interested enough to try it, even once. So yeah, that came and went. The Cities XL franchise, in quotes, franchise, it was only ever one game, really, you know. They tried, you know, I put tried in quotes too, and they created alright, you know, but wasn't great. Still, SimCity 4 was the best. Then, in 2013, the gaming equivalent of the Star Wars prequels hit shelves in stores, and yeah, we don't need to talk anymore about that. So, those were 3 half-hearted attempts to take down SimCity 4, to improve on it. And all 3 of them failed. Now, it took this weird little European studio called Paradox that has these, like, employees with pink hair, you know. You know, these really cool-looking, awesome people who make these impossible strategy games. I mean, have you ever tried to play Europa Universalis? That game is freaking impossible. I have no idea what's going on. I mean, well-made game, sure, but goddamn if it's hard. And, so, it took those guys, who you would never expect to work on a city-building game. I mean, their shtick is grand strategy games for the most part. You wouldn't expect them to do it. But when we heard Paradox was working on the game, we're like, okay, well, Paradox has made good games, but they're really, really difficult, so we're probably going to get a really good but really difficult city-building game. And to the surprise of many, this game turned out to be not only very good, but not, you know, it's no harder than any other city building game I've ever picked up. In fact, this city building game is about on the level of 2000, SimCity 2000 that is, on the pick up and play ability scale. Meaning, it's as easy to pick up and play this game without any experience being a city builder than any game since SimCity 2000. Now, SimCity 4 was a little bit more layered, I guess, than 2000 was, although it seemed like a complicated game at the time, at least to me, but looking back on it, it's actually not that complicated at all. I mean, I don't think so. I think losing money in that game is hard. You just have to make sure not to build services right away, which is actually, this game learned from that idea, and it unlocks services at different population levels, which sort of forces you to not be a dumbass. Although there is sort of an expert mode where you can unlock that. I mean, Cities XL did the same thing, so I gotta give that game some credit for that. But yeah, I guess the point is SimCity 4, maybe a little bit trickier, still not that tricky, but this game, if you aren't a city builder or you haven't played one in a very long time, this is a game that will not be hard for you to pick up and play. So, yeah, I think it gets my seal of approval, basically. Now, will it stand the test of time? That's a question I cannot answer. Because I mean, we know this through all forms of art and media. There are games and books and TV shows, movies, music, etc. that's really popular at any given time, but you look back on it years later and you think to yourself, man, how was this garbage ever popular? How did we ever think this was good? And then there's other stuff that we look back on with some sort of affection. Like maybe we overlooked it at first, or it was popular, but we didn't really pay, it wasn't really the most popular thing. It was one among many things. But looking back on it, it's a classic. For example, I don't know if this is the best example, but it's the first one I could think of. The movie The Shawshank Redemption didn't really sell huge amounts back in '94, I guess. Oh, look at our poor forestry district. Rip. Well, whatever. But yeah, like The Shawshank Redemption didn't sell all that much when it first came out, but it has since been regarded as a classic, looking back on it now. Whereas I'm trying to think of any example of a big flashy movie from we got it. We can build our oil zone now, although I'm pretty sure it's going to be abandoned. Alright, we got all these new roads. Excellent. We have enough money to build this exit now. Alright, little Alberta, don't fail me. Don't fail me. You're going to be an oil zone. But yeah. Today's comment question challenge is... please think of an early 90s movie that was really popular at the time, but has largely been forgotten to the present day. That is your homework. Oh, crap. Poop on a stick. Okay. You know what it's time for? Alright, I think it's time to do this. I'm going to show you what a roundabout intersection exit thingy looks like. Yes, what we are going to do now is build a roundabout, a highway roundabout, and that is a nice little free-flowing way. What just happened? Oh, the zone just went off, that's all. Everything's good, everything's good. It's a nice little way to get people where they're going without stopping. It's not foolproof, but up to certain volumes of traffic, it's actually quite effective. Oh, okay, we can't have it going in over there. Oh man. There we go. When the ramps are nice and tight, things work better.